Hello and welcome to another CAMSYS MagicQ tutorial. Today we're going to go over MagicHD, what it is, how to get it set up, and some of the cool things it can do. MagicHD is an 8-layer media server that you get for free when you download the MagicQ PC software. It can be used with the PC software or with the console connected to get you a full 8 layers of media or audio output. To start, we've started a new show here. We're going to go to Patch. We have a button up here that says choose dim/media. Once we click that, we're presented with a few options. One of them is MagicHD. Once you choose MagicHD, you can patch it to whichever universe suits you. And it's going to patch all of the elements of MagicHD. MagicHD has 3 different elements totaling 10 different fixtures. You have your 8 layers. You have your output layer, which is essentially your master layer, and you have a text layer. These can be patched to any active universe on your system. They do need to be patched, unlike virtual dimmers. And their head numbers need to be sequential. Once you patch MagicHD, it'll automatically configure the media server in Setup, View System, View Media. You'll see we have a line that has MagicHD. You can name this whatever you want. It's going to choose the type as MagicHD. It's going to start with the head numbers you patched it at. If you've changed your head numbers from what it initially assigned when you patch it, you're going to have to change your head numbers here. It's going to patch a total of 10 layers, where the server is only 8 physical layers. It needs to say 10 in order to include that output layer and the text layer in there also. IP address is going to say local for now because we're on the same computer as MagicQ. If you were using an external computer, this IP address would be the IP address of the computer that is running MagicHD. Now that that's done, we can go to our media window and you'll see we have MagicHD, our 8 layers, our output, and our text layer. To see the output of the media player, we need to come up here to the menu bar and click Media Player. We need to view our media output. This is going to open up an output window. This output window can be run full screen or it can be run windowed. And when it's windowed, we can resize it to whatever size works for our show. The last thing we need to do is go back up to the media player menu and hit select player. Ensure that we have the proper head number, name, and check to use this player. Now we can check that MagicHD is working. We need to choose MagicHD and one of its layers. We can locate that layer. You'll see a live preview of what's playing on layer 1. And then we need to go to the output layer and locate it in order to turn on the actual output. Each layer is identical in what it can do. They layer in order from the lowest number to the highest number, basically stacking on top of each other. This means if we have media playing on layer 1 and we were to locate layer 2 and play a different clip, it's going to play over top of layer 1. To navigate this media window, you'll have a list of servers here. If you have multiple servers, you would see, say, MagicHD here, maybe an Archaeos server here, a Hypnotizer here, so on and so forth. This media window saves you navigating around the intensity, beam, color, and position windows to program a media server. It has its own intensity, position, and color, and then a media button. It has a masking button for masking layers. It has an effects button, and then a few other buttons depending on what servers you're currently running. To step through these real fast, intensity is pretty self-explanatory. It has things like the intensity of the current layer. You can turn the intensity down, you'll see that the image fades out. Things like audio gain and pan are in here if you're running audio files. Position, you have scaling, so we can scale the image within the output window, both vertically and horizontally. We can rotate the image if needed. We can stretch the image in different ways, essentially aspect ratios. We can fill X, fill Y, fill X and Y. We can fit it to different layers. We also have mirroring and flipping, so we can flip our image around. horizontal, horizontal mirror, vertical mirror, so on and so forth. And then we have position X and Y. So if we needed to, we could scale this image down, and then we can move it around the output window. For color, this works the same as you would expect with an RGB par. You have RGB controls for each color. You'll see we have a test pattern here that represents all the colors. You have a color bar across the center. If we were to pull out all the red, and then pull out all the green, we'd be left with nothing but a blue screen. You also have things like effects in here. So with color effects, you have black and white. RGB select allows you to select specific colors. You can posterize it, and you have control for all of these. You can colorize it, different various colors. You can mask it for lightness. You can key certain colors. You can do a hue offset, hue filters, and you can invert it. The media window is where you're going to spend most of your time. This is where all of your clip controls are. So you have a play mode. You can loop the clip. You can play it once. You can bounce it. You can play just the first frame, the last frame, pause it, and so on. You can set a starting point if you need to trim off the beginning of a clip. You can set an end point if you need to cut off the end of a clip. You have playback control as far as speed. You can speed it up and slow it down. Blending is similar to the blend options in, say, Photoshop or other graphic softwares. Transition time deals with the time it takes to transition from clip to clip. And a media folder and media file. Media is sorted into folders. We can click through these folders and see that we have some media loaded. Some of those folders are reserved for things like texts and masks. And then you can load, of course, your own custom content in there as well. Media file chooses what file is playing. It'll also give you a preview of it down here. Then mask, you can choose a mask to lay over your image. So if you were doing a circle projection, you can mask off the edges of it, make it just a circle. Basically, whatever's black becomes black, and whatever's white will be transparent. This works with gradients too. So if you needed to do a vignette, you could do that. If you wanted to do a top and bottom vignette, you can do that. If you needed to do a blend region for some reason, you could do that as well. You can also overlay text and images. Users can load their own masks if they need to. You have mask opacity up here. You can choose how intense, it's basically the brightness of the mask. And you have mask scaling, various mask modes. You can mask certain colors if you need to. You can flip it. You can invert the colors. And then we have our effects layer. In our effects layer, we have some effects parameters, 3 effects parameters per effect. Some use only a couple parameters, some use only 1 parameter. It depends on which effect you choose. Down here in Encoder X, you have physical effects. We can do a shake, and as we turn up these parameters, we'll see the image will start to shake. We have a gentle shake, which is a more subtle version of it. We can make the image scroll. And our parameters here will control the direction and the speed of the scrolling. Basically at 128 it's going to stop. And then we can do a slight scroll in one direction or the other. Scroll index is going to allow you to scroll the image. However, it's not going to continuously scroll. It's just going to let you set a position on it. And then we have the ability to tile. So if we turn our tile all the way down, we'll end up with one image. And as we click through, you'll see we can tile our image repeatedly. The control button is not used in MagicHD, neither is the framing button. Moving over to the output layer. The output layer uses the same series of buttons but has its own options. You have a master intensity level, master volume. Under position, you have master scaling, rotation, positioning, and mirroring. Same options you have for each layer, but this will affect all layers equally. Same with color, you have master color. Again, this will affect all 8 layers evenly. Under media in the output layer, you have a heads-up display you can turn on per layer. This will give you information on each layer, what it's doing, what media it's playing, various DMX input values. It'll also show you previews for each clip. It'll show you its status as far as playback goes. So if we were to come in here and switch clips to something that had some motion, bring our heads-up display back up to the front, you'll see it shows the current status and position of that, as well as the frame rate of the player. Turn that back off. Under mask, you have a master mask. So if you wanted to mask off every layer equally, you could do the same. Again, you have the same controls here that you would have for each layer. Effects, you have effects. Again, these effects will affect every one of the 8 layers equally. For control, you have control for timecode output. You can turn it on and off. And then in frame, you actually have keystoning ability for each corner of the output. So you can actually keystone and geometrically correct the 4 corners of your output. The text layer is essentially a 9th layer that is used just for text generation. These text files can be user edited through any text editor, placed into the media folder. Once you choose the text that you'd like to use, it will appear on the screen. And via the media window, we can change things, like we can change the scroll speed of the text if we want to. We can change the scroll direction. We can make it be multiple lines if we want to. We can also color the text as you'd expect. We can change the position of our text. And we can control the masking of our text as well. We also have control of the fonts. There's a series of different fonts to use, different sizes and different looks. And then we can also, via the intensity window, fade out our text. Programming MagicHD is exactly like any other media server fixture. You can write cues, impart fade times on all the parameters. We just give you the media window to make it a little bit easier to navigate those options. To add media to MagicHD, you can come up top here to Media Player. Choose to convert a file. This will give you a File Explorer window. We can come into our file system, find our clips that we want. Here I have a series of clips that I haven't loaded yet. We can select all of these at once, or single ones as needed. We're going to open them and you'll be presented the Media Destination window. This is the folder structure for MagicHD. Each folder has a number. Each clip also has a number associated with it. Any folder that is currently black will show that there is currently media already in there. Any folder that shows as gray is currently empty. So we'll choose a new folder. We can choose what clip numbers those become. We can choose to keep them all together. It'll do an entire block of 10 and we just choose where we want it to start. So we'll start at 1, and you'll see it automatically selects clips 1 through 10 as the slots. We can name our folder down here. And then when we're all set and ready to go, we're going to put all of our clips in folder 11, clips 1 through 10. We're going to name that folder retro clips. We can hit convert. Down in the command line here, it'll show you the conversion process. Depending on the size of your clips and the current codec that was used to encode them, this could take a decent amount of time. It's all going to come down to the size of the clips, the resolution, size of the file system, so on and so forth. Some of these clips are ProRes, some of them are video JPEG, and some of them are H.264 clips. You'll see that the conversion process varies depending on which codec is being used for the initial clip. Once done, you'll see media converted media merged into index. Now, if we bring back up our output on layer 1, we go to media folder number 11. You'll see here are our new clips. All clips should be converted and playable in MagicHD right away. To show you a quick example of what we can do here, we can play our insert coin clip. We can play our Are You Ready clip. Overlay clip. Our second overlay clip. And then finally, we will pick our game over clip. Once we're done, we can clear out. We can look at our cue stack. Give them these names just like we would any other cue. And now they'll play back just like any other cue in the desk. There's our insert coin. Are you ready? Our two grids and our game over. One of the other advantages of MagicHD is you can actually key layers over other layers. So if we go to layer 7 and we choose a clip that has a keyable background, say this with the green screen background, we can come in here, go to color, choose an effect. We'll choose key. And then through key, we can key out green. Record this to another playback. Now we can throw our Rubik's Cube over the other layer. You can apply effects to these layers just like you would any other fixture. So if we came in and selected layer 7, added a position effect of a circle to it, we have size control and whatnot, just like we would with a regular effect. Now we have a moving Rubik's Cube. This concludes our Magic Cube tutorial. Thanks for watching, and as always, you can reach us via our website, www.camsyslighting.com. We'd be happy to answer any questions. If you go to the support tab, you'll be able to find contact information for the CAMSYS support lines. Thank you.